I completely give up on it. This problem seems impossible. I want to draw a tree. You know this thing? It's in my... No, not that one. Is it here? Oh, dog. It just seems impossible. I don't know how do you do this? Like, imagine you're trying to draw this, okay? Now remember, this is a stream, so here you are. You write down the root name, carriage return. Now you have a child, so let's just assume that children always are preceded by this string. Okay, and then you write the child's name. Now what? Now what do you do? Well, I suppose you would start at this one and repeat, right? So it's in that would be a recursive thing, right? Okay, so now I go down one, I draw one of these things to my next child. Meanwhile, this is a stream. I've got to draw something here. You see what I'm saying? It gets complicated. Like, if I'm going to draw this line, I've got to know to draw a bar here and a bar here because this happens to have another child, right? Before it's child, and I think that the only way to do this probably is to do it like pretend that you can draw anywhere on the screen, right? But don't draw it. You know, break it up into columns and rows and columns, and draw it in a virtual state in terms of rows and columns. And once you've decided the complete layout, then you can build this string, because this is just one single string. I can't think of any other way to do it. You can't do it as you're going along. It'd be impossible. Onto the code, the XML code. I don't know if there's enough time for me to really go through it now. Remember that the code itself wasn't that complicated initially, right? It's very easy to make the trees, to make the structure with all the data in it, and I even made it simpler. I got rid of that global head node. There's still a head node, but it's a member of the struct. So that means you could have two of these things, and they each have their own file, and then you're not going to get. You can't have a global static head node if there's more than one. And there's not really that much code. Only it's 200 lines and mostly spaces. But like I said, for some reason or other, and I intend to get rid of this extra list. For some reason or other, I couldn't figure out how to walk through it properly. It's probably the same reason I can't figure out how to do that tree. And so I made a separate list just for the deleting, right? Now that means that's data duplication, and I told you time and time again, never ever ever duplicate, and I've done that, and that's a bad thing, and I know it's a bad thing, and so I had to take extreme measures to guard myself against all the evils associated with duplication, right? And I'm acutely aware of those evils because I've been bitten too many times by it. Now we have these things called nodes, right? And we have the parser, And the parser has element start, and element end, and element data. Now, forgetting about the special extra list and why there's this pointer here, the code is almost the same, even simpler. There's no special case anymore here. We don't need it. Before I was setting one special value up here, but I don't need to do that. I can do it down here. There are no special cases. The root node is just another node like every other. All this code is essentially the same. I'm adding the attributes to the new node. For an element start, I make a new node, and I'm maintaining a current position in the tree, a root, and the new node's parent will then become current position, current node. Add the attributes. This is actually a static function, and set the path by adding the new name to the path. Trace it out. If there's no first, it's the same code as before. I've already explained this part. But you will notice something different about it though. This here is a member function of this. It's not a static member. I'm not casting anything to a p this. What I did was in the three functions that are sent void pointer, which contains this pointer, I do the casting here and then call a member function. So that means that everything's done in member functions. That's an easy step, and it saves a lot of typing, and it helps clarify. Data is the callback that gets called repeatedly as the parsing is going along, after a new and before an end, right? So this is bracketed, this data comes along bracketed by lm end and lm new. So anything that comes between that is just considered data, like those icon things that aren't really icons, they're sort of icons. I know they're not really icons because actually I ran through and I did all of them. I know they're not real icons because they don't look like real icons, and I'm not really sure exactly what kind of files they are. They're bitmaps. One of the things I did, see, these ones I obtained by, instead of doing them with separate names, this has all of the icon things in the same file, and you can see it doesn't really do anything. It does seem to make them a little clearer, but that's probably because you have the same image bunched up on top of itself. But they're not really the right size. Some are bigger than that. And then I stored off the ones I did have here. Oh, they're gone now. I could do it again if you want to see. Let's see. Let's back to the old code with separate files. No, I'm not appending. This is the old code, I think. Yeah, I make up a funny file name for the ones that don't have a attribute thing. Well, let's see what happens. It'll make one file. The parameter to this program has a wildcard in it, and I use find first file, get next file. The function that doesn't work for long path names. This is based on the Win API stuff. Well, it's a number defined. Internally, if you, well, I made this class, so I'm telling you that internally it uses the Win API, find first file ex, find file ex, then next, and so on. And it fails at about, it doesn't take you very long, right? I think it fails at around 500 characters. Oh dear. F name. Oh. Stir file name. That's supposed to be that. Get extract name and sync. Now what's this stir file name? No. Hang on a second, let me just see. I think I undid something and I messed it up. That can't be right. I don't need this stir file name. And I just gotta add a plus icon. Because I want, because I'm doing all of them at once, I'm gonna have to use different names. So let me just double check here. We're in a loop while working. Here I'm reading the text in from the MSC file, and now I'm going through the binary things, and then so this file name will be my path, and then the name, just the name part of the MSC file with no extension, plus ico right, and then right. And I'm still searching for this BM. I thought one thing I thought was that if I included all of the things, maybe that would make a complete bitmap with different layers. You'll notice as well that those files in GIMP, they don't have more than one picture in them. This skipped here, right? I thought maybe if I included these skipped bits, that might help. Didn't. I don't know what the skip things are. Oh, crap. Yeah, I know what that is. That is, really, that should be handled by the XML thing, but I'll fix it here. Stir file beta. I undid and over undid. Just a few steps. Get back to where I was. See, BM is the first two characters in a bitmap, right? And an icon is a collection of bitmaps. And also, worse than that, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't use the DLL thing. It actually uses the bitmap in the text. Now what's this? Redefinition formal. Stir file. Oh, I made a. Oh, this is the new project I'm trying. I'm not going to run this. I'm gonna make a little utility just for printing out, extracting and printing out the tree and stuff. You see, you try and do one thing and then I could take it out of the list, I guess. There we go. Now there's a lot of data blocks that get skipped, you'll notice. And notice how some of them are large 48x. And they're all getting placed in here. See? So that's for all, I copy all of them over. That's not enough. Well, it's however many I have in here. Oh, I got lots. Should be more than that. Oh, I'm adding that. I didn't. Oh, it's because I'm skipping so many, maybe. Let's see, why am I skipping? Data blocks skipped. If I don't find a BL, I'm sure I had more than that before. I'm only getting one for each. Actually, they look pretty good though. No, it's not. It's definitely not right. What have I done wrong? Get the attributes. Get the data. Remove the white space. Decode into buff. Find the offset. Open the file. Get the data. Close the file. Maybe decode. I'm pretty sure I got more than that. I know I got more than that before. It's clearly just double check this. See if I'm going the right directory. Tutorials docs msc star.msc.node. Well, look at them all. And they've all got icon things. A whole bunch of these got discarding and printing in block, which is starts at 0 for the siblings of binary. I won't have time to go through the code, obviously. Well, I want to see this block, one of these blocks. Yeah, I'm getting it immediately. And I shouldn't be. On block 4. Buff has only 12 bytes. Maybe I messed up these files. It would be this one. One thing I've noticed is that, you see, there are small ones, that's okay, but I should be all these other ones should give me regular icons. 1, 2, see this? Those are padding. 2, 3, 4. Now the fourth one is fine. And see, they all start the same. So it. Oh wait, 4 maybe stands for the fifth one. No, there's tons in here. What is current file? Oh, hang on a second. Maybe this is the wrong. Maybe I'm just rewriting the same file. Can't be. It says ASMAN MSC icon, which is that. Let's try it again. Maybe I'm gonna get. Oh, that's why. That's why I gotta include the number. Right. So where's the? I need the name and I need a number. For the when there's okay, I remember now. So I did have something called stir file name. And I said initially equal to something to do with that number and data block. And I'll add that. This gets added to it later. Anything else besides that? Nothing. Something like that. And then if there are attributes, let's say that the file name is equal to takeaway name equals so I'm going to say file name plus attributes, right? And then in both cases I want IPO. Oh yeah, that's right. I just called this file unknown file or something. Data block. Data block and I guess I'll put +1 here. We get one base and this is going to say large icon data block something something. And then I can get rid of this. I think now we should get more files. They'll all have a different name. I don't remember there being so many skips before. What the? What? What's this? Hang on a second. No, I don't. I just did. File name, data block. Oh, file name. Oh, I see. So if those things don't have, if you have anything .msc and it's not a correctly formatted file, it's going to get that toolbox icon. Okay, well, that explains one thing. Maybe because some of them didn't have a DLL in the XML part, so I figured that it had to be taking it from the binary thing. Okay, now it's looking more. It's still less than I had before. I'm still missing the name. I still need partly the name. So let's see now. I need a %s. Let's get the file name. Try this. I just gotta make sure that each one has a unique name. Okay, now it's looking better. Add insert command. So now there are all these things, and they kind of look like icons, right? But when was the last time you saw an icon that had that looks sort of like half icon in here, and then there's a great big long bar in here? So what these are, I think, are things that you can make an icon from. In fact, an icon can be made from a bitmap. I'm pretty sure, because the function that I use to display those nice icons in here takes a handle to icon, okay, and it's called it took me ages to find this function, but it did the trick. Get icon info. And what does that return you? It returns you either 1 or 2 H-bitmap. These are H-bitmap objects. See the bubble? That's an H-bitmap. That's the color section of the icon, and this is the mask section of the icon, and those are just the two things that you need in order to add something to one of these image list thingies. Okay. Oh, no, I don't have them. Like I was dead in the water. I figured I'd never figured this thing out because I've never even come close to figuring out what this handle to bitmap thing is, right? It usually involves palettes and all kinds of garbage. But all you do is call this, you take any old icon, and in this particular case, I'm using the extended version of extract icon from a program name, and you can extract either the large icon or the small icon, and you can extract an array of them. This tells you how many elements are in the array. I think it's including both arrays. It doesn't matter. We'll look at that later. But anyway, so see, there's a mask and there's a color thing. And if you look at these things, these, although they're not black and white exactly, these look like they could be masks to be used in an image list. An image list, which is the thing being made here, is like an image strip. And it sort of auto works out the dimensions of things. And to get a nice image from an icon, some icons contain their transparency, and some just they have a separate bitmap for the mask part. I'm not really sure in this case, but I'm not sure what these are. This looks like a bigger version of this, right? Okay. But why is it long like that? Why are they all long? And how come this thing... Okay, it's not displaying... It is displaying the long one, but it's shrunk, see? So it's taking black as transparent. That's right. If you look at this, in terms of one full width, if black is transparent, then it's drawn this thing, maybe 1/3 the width of one full width, and that's why it's off skewed. And these ones are similarly drawn that way, except black is not considered to be transparent in these cases. So these ones have transparency, and these ones don't. So they're not exactly bitmaps, and I think you can make a bitmap from them. I mean, an icon. You can make icons from them, but I don't know. There's no help on this because this is like internal, you know. It's not a standard. This just happens to be the way that they're implementing it today. So, but I mean, I know a little bit about icons, and I know that GIMP sees this as an icon, so there's something icon-like about it. And I bet, like, take this key, that, and that, and that, all of these ones, I bet, make up one icon. You know how an icon's a collection of images, so this one has 5 different images, and here's another icon that has only 2 images, and here's an icon that has 3 images, and so on. This one's got a 64 by 16 and this one's got a 16 and a 32. It's got a 32, a 16, and a 48. And that's another thing you should be aware of with icons, is if you try to get an icon out of a DLL or something as a resource, There, like say you want to use the enum resource function, you have to use this for icons especially. Enum, is it this one? There's two ways to extract an icon from an actual icon resource, and one is a device independent thing, and one is a device dependent thing, something like that. See now, resource name cross. Types. You have to say RT icon or something. Yeah. Am I going in circles? Okay. Alright, now. There are things called bitmap resources. I think that's what we got in our file. An RT icon is a hardware dependent icon resource. See? Bitmap. It's animated icon. There's another kind of icon resource. Hardware dependent. They go into great detail talking about these RT things, and they say, you know, save yourself the trouble and use this instead. Something like that. There's load icon, and then there's load image, which is another complication. Monochrome shared. I don't know, I can't remember. There's something to get an icon resource out in the same format as those ones you use in your project. It involves very carefully calling exactly the right functions with the right flags. And once you've figured out that magic sequence, then you can forget about it forever. I've never figured it out. Nobody else seems to know. Somewhere there's some. Loads an icon resource. Oh, wait a minute. It's enum resource names, I think is the one. Or types. One or the other. Where they start talking about it. Enum resource types. Then there's an resource types prop. And then these are the types. And it's not saying anything. names. It's not something you can find just by quickly browsing through. What's an RT bitmap? You know? What is an RT bitmap? You'll notice that this doesn't say hardware dependent, right? So I would guess that this is a DIB, a device independent bitmap. One of those things that starts with the letters BM, as those ones that we saw do. Unlike an icon resource, which is hardware dependent, and it doesn't start anything like that at all. Let's find an example. In any one of these projects that has an icon, I don't know, something with an icon. I was just making something with an icon. Is in here. Oh, but I can't. If I want to open it with the binary editor, I can't drag and drop. Oh, here's one. You'll see that there's no BM anything at the beginning. In fact, I don't even know if there's one in the entire file. Oops. Oh yeah, here's one. But here we are like halfway through the file before we hit one. And it's not even a real, those are small letters. Is there another? No. Okay. So an icon resource doesn't contain a bitmap, any bitmaps. What you got to do to make an icon, if those things are obviously bitmaps, is you got to somehow convert those bitmaps into either into a, you could, if you want to make an image list, right, that I use in here, you don't need an icon, all you need is handles to bitmaps. So maybe if I wanted to display those properly, I could load them in memory and cast them as handle to bitmap, and then add them to an image list, and then display one or another element from the image list, and then it would look like an icon. Maybe you can see that it's really not. The whole icon thing is becoming not worth the trouble. I don't care. You know, I'm going to draw a black square for everything. All right. So till next time.